Hey guys, this is Terra with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and today I'm bringing you my June faves. So technically, if I was going to show you everything that I consider my favorite, I would have to show you every single item in my house. It's true. There was a book that I got maybe 6 months ago, and it's by Marie Kondo, and it's called The KonMari Method, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And I went through, it was very tedious, but I went through every single item in my house, and I had to, make a pile of, does this bring me joy, or am I just keeping it for nostalgic reasons? Am I keeping it because it's like too expensive to give away, or why am I keeping it? So, and I had to make some really tough choices. So I cleaned out more than half my closet, more than half my shoe collection, just tons and tons of stuff, tons of books that I don't read anymore, nor do I reference them anymore. And that was really hard because, we have such a deep connection to our books. But I ended up just laying the books out on in the front of my classroom, and I told my students, have at them, and my students, they picked them up. They were like so stoked. They're like, they're free. Like, we don't have to give them back. Are you gonna punish us? I'm like, no, they're free. I don't care. Take them. If you don't like it, give it to somebody else, Yeah, so I've done a huge purge of everything in our house, and so I only have a small amount of items that are left underneath our house, kind of, which is where our storage is, for decorations and childhood stuff and my surfboards and everything. But I gave up all my medals, all my trophies that I've ever gotten. There was boxes of medals, boxes of gigantic trophies, but I'm like, what am I gonna make a trophy room to myself? Like, I don't need that anymore. There was a time and place for it where I was recognized, I got my picture taken with it, and and then that was a moment in time. And so I made sure that I took pictures of all of them before, I just kind of sent them off to the Goodwill. I mean, if people want a used trophy, I guess. Definitely check out The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. It will faux show change your life. Do the KonMari method, and that's a picture of the author back there. She's toots awesome. I have a very eclectic mix of things that I want to show you guys, but I'll try to go through these really quickly so that this isn't a long ass video. First up, my favorite dark chocolate covered mangoes. These are addictive. This will go into my forever favorites. So let me just show you the awesomeness, and I'll try not to eat one while I'm making a video, but they're just like this. They're mangoes, and of course the best mangoes come from the Philippines. Actually, most all mangoes come from the Philippines. The rest are from Mexico, but Philippines has the best mangoes. And they are dark chocolate covered. They are delicious. They're Kirkland brand. I get them at Costco, but I'm sure you can get these online. Definitely my favorite. I eat these a lot, all day, every day. Next thing on my faves list is my aviators. So I never thought I would be an aviators person. I always thought that I had a weird facial structure and that I was stuck with just wearing square sunglasses. But my bestie Agnes, she loves her aviators, and I'm so jelly that she looks so awesome in her aviators. So I finally got some aviators for myself, and I'm like, psh, yeah. Next thing on my faves list, my boyfriend got me this awesome cell phone cover. I would show you my other cell phone cover, but I am filming this using said cell phone. So the one that is on my cell phone currently, it's a unicorn pooping rainbows. It's pretty awesome. But I just really like this. I just thought it was pretty cool. So yeah, and it's wood on top, which is neat. Next thing that I've been loving in the month of June is I tend to use on and off my film camera. So I got this, gosh, probably around the time when I was like 16 or 17. It's a really nice Minolta camera, and we do have a couple of camera stores left in San Diego. George's Camera, Nelson's Photo, but you can go there and still get your pictures developed. You can still buy film, you can still buy gadgets for your cameras and things like that. You can still get your film cameras tuned up. And so yeah, I got some color film in here now, but I just used up a roll of black and white film, and I wasn't quite sure how old the black and white film was, but I guess it was at least 3 years old, because it has pictures of baby Wally, and he's 3 years old now. So yeah, I've been loving my film camera. There's just something about getting a roll back and forgetting what was on that roll. So I got my pictures back from George's camera. So yeah, this was the last picture that I was taken, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, you know, that's our Wally now. But then he starts getting a little bit younger, and my boyfriend has this thing with showing Wally hard-boiled eggs. I don't know, he has an egg thing. Wally looking smug on the tile. We're getting into baby Wally. Look at those long legs. He was so lanky. And then there's 2 photos that I think I took them a year apart, but they're on the dryer. And so there's like baby Wally and a year older Wally. So this is probably like almost 2 years old, and this is about a year old. So, and then I realized we still had the same shit on top of the dryer. Like, why didn't we clean off why is there used light bulbs there? I don't know. One of my fave pics. Okay, so I won't bore you with any more Wally pictures. Actually, maybe just one more. So he's hanging out in my boyfriend's box of comic books. I thought it was pretty cute. If you have a film camera lying around, why not get it cleaned up, put some film in there, and have some fun with that. You know, in our age of instant gratification, sometimes it's really cool when you're surprised with a roll of film. Other things I'm loving, let's go into the jewelry department, is the pair of earrings that my uncle gave me for my birthday on June 10th. And he said that he had found them in a thrift shop, and they were quite dirty. He wasn't sure if he could fix them up, and they had different hooks here. So he changed these hooks out, he cleaned them up, he repaired them a little bit, and I mean, they look brand new to me, and I love them. You may have seen them when I did my July reading, but yeah, I love these. And he said they reminded him of Queen Nefertiti, which he is obsessed with Egypt just like me. And we're both into Nefertiti. So he was like, well, I could put them on my Nefertiti bust, or you could wear them. And so I decided you could wear them. So I was like, yay! I've been loving the ring that my best friend gave me probably about 4 or 5 months ago, but it's a beautiful Moonstone Ring. And I ended up buying another Moonstone ring so that I could wear Moonstone on either hand. So that's one of my birthstones in the month of June. So we have Pearl, there's like Alexandrite, there's Moonstone, and I think there's maybe one more, but a Pearl, you know. So yeah, so from my bestie there. And then I got this ring maybe a month ago from the Fifth Element, and it's a cool mandala ring. This is called the Duality mandala. And so yeah, this has been pretty awesome. And usually I don't wear, okay, I wear big rings, but this is the first one that, you know, takes up most of my finger, which is pretty cool. It feels comfy and it doesn't get in the way. Next, let's go ahead and go to stones. The stone that I've been loving this month a lot was hemimorphite. That's just, you know, if I see hemimorphite jewelry and it's something that I can afford, I'll definitely get it. I love it when it's this pretty blue color, which they get out of China. So yeah, hemimorphite is freaking awesome. One of my fave stones for ever is Chrysocolla, and I love to get it in all its forms. I love when it's polished just like this, and sometimes you'll see it's mixed with malachite, and I love it when it's in its raw forms like this, like bam. I got this at a mining shop, and it's got beautiful shades of blue in it. I have some other polished versions. Like, I'm just like a Chrysocolla freak, and I don't care. It's a deeply healing stone. So also, if I'm needing like some extra protection and peace, I carry around my Chrysocolla. Like, I know I'm going to start to have some crazy days at school where I teach, then, you know, if I bring some Chrysocolla, it really does seem to like create an air of just a little bit more peace. The kids are a little bit less crazy. Another thing that I've been loving is this pendulum, and it's a little arrowhead made out of obsidian. And I got this actually in a trade for the Sun and Moon tarot that I had. So I exchanged the deck, and I got a couple of stones, plus she sent me a smaller pendulum, and then she sent me this pendulum, but this one has really been calling to me. So whether or not I actually use it, I just like to feel its energy, and so I just keep it with me. yeah, so it's been my little companion in June. Okay, let's go into perfumes. So I wear perfume, but I also wear like mixtures of my own essential, like I mix certain essential oils to make my own perfume and things like that. But first, I love Michael Kors, the OG Michael Kors. It smells heavily of jasmine, which is one of my favorite flowers. And when I spray it, it smells like my grandma's house in Ohio. So they had a house out here in Ridgecrest, but she was originally from Ohio, and it just like, it smells like that summer I was over there, unfortunately for her funeral. But yeah, it just smelled like that. It just smells like this and just like brings me back to like my grandma and her family and just everything. So yeah, so it's not because I'm a huge Michael Kors fan, but just because this is like grandma in a bottle right here. And of course my Jasmine Essential Oil. So I use this quite a bit. This is probably like my fourth or fifth bottle I've gone through, but I like to either just wear it straight, or I like to mix it with other things or turn it into a spray, you know, and maybe infuse it with some stones. But yeah, jasmine I wore like every single day. It's the only thing I brought like to wear to smell nice when I was singing in Italy, and so now when I wear it, it reminds me of Italy, so that's a lovely attachment memory. Okay, another thing, this one I didn't make myself, but I got it out of the Moon box. This was the May Moon box, my first Moon box, and this is amber, and I love the smell of amber. It's dark, it's musky, it's so kind of sexual. So sometimes I like to pair whatever I'm wearing with like a dab here, and so yeah, amber is what I'm still really loving. For other essential oils, I'm loving lilac. I love to mix lilac with certain things. Sometimes I'll get my little charcoal disc and I'll put a couple of drops of lilac on it, and it just seems like it's really like purifying the air, like not an air purifier, but like energetically speaking. It seems to really you know, just kind of raise the vibrations of the room that this is burning in. So I highly suggest lilac. We still have the Del Mar Fair, or the San Diego County Fair, going on right now, and at one of the booths I ended up picking up some incense. So this is the green Terra incense. Like, it's Terra, hello. I had to pick it up, but no, green Terra, which is the kind of Tibetan or Hindi version of the Buddhist version, which is Kuan Yin. So Terra and Kuan Yin are kind of considered, you know, interchangeable in deity. They carry the same energy, but I connect strongly with Kuan Yin as well as Terra, even though they might be one and the same. It's like saying I connect with myself. Well, you should. But this, I love these sticks. They're just straight sticks, and you just, you don't kind of stick them laterally, you kind of stick them vertically. But these have a really, really earthy smell to them. So I use these sparingly. They do last a long time, but in the month of June, you just, when I really need some extra oomph or power, or I'm doing a cleansing ritual of the house, which I need to do often, and I will do a video on that later, then I will bust out my green Terra. Very quickly, before we get into the books that I'm loving, I just want to show you this dress. So Dr. Wang has 3 daughters, and one of the daughters is pretty tall. She's probably about like 5'9", 5'10", and I'm about 5'8". So she was like cleaning out her closet, and she, you know, gave me a couple of bags worth of her clothes, and she said, hey, go through my clothes and see if there's anything that you like, which PS, I'm wearing her dress right now. I love doing like clothing trades with people. So, you know, if I'm getting rid of some of my stuff and I know there's somebody about my height, my size, you know, I'll be like, hey, take out what you need and then donate the rest to the Goodwill. So that's what I did. I donated the rest for things to the Goodwill. But she got this dress in Italy, and it's a beautiful linen dress, and it was originally white, but I thought it was a little too white for me, so I dyed it this beautiful blue, which is the color of hemimorphite. And so yeah, it's one of my favorite colors. The reason I dyed it is there was a couple of spots on the back, and I wanted to get rid of that. So I love dyeing clothing, you know, what I think, you know, gives new life to clothes. You know, if, you know, you're donating something just because you don't like the color of it anymore, like dye it, you know. So I use the RIT dyes. RIT. So if you look online, there's tons of tutorials on how to dye so that your dye doesn't like start fading and things like that, how to get it to, you know, be color fast and things like that. So yay! Another book I've shown before, but favorites doesn't have to be new things. It's the Sabbats Almanac. So I've been loving following this for the Wheel of the Year. You know, there are certain rituals and things that I already do, but I just love, like, you know, I haven't read through the whole book. Like, I'm just like going, like, you know, every tick of the wheel, I just read more and more. And you guys like my goofy. This is my bookmark, by the way. But yeah, it's ready for Lammas there. But yeah, I've been loving, you know, looking at the astrological stuff that's going on in here. There's like spell work to do. There's cool history, you know, for everything. There's recipes for like eating and drinking stuff. So yeah, I definitely have still been loving this. A book that I tore through and just like ate this up just was the Animal Speak book by Ted Andrews. And I own a deck of his. I own his Animal Speak runes, and this is awesome. If you want to learn more about animal energy, it's obviously not a comprehensive book of every animal on earth, but it does give you a good idea on where to start, looking into some of your own animals and maybe their totems or messages that they may carry. You know, our yard is just filled with like lizards and mockingbirds and doves and hummingbirds and butterflies and gophers. And skunks. So it's interesting seeing their messages, because a lot of times those messages were like, oh my gosh, that's like what's going on right now. Like, they've been trying to send me a message, and here I thought that they were just trying to dig up my freaking yard. But yeah, definitely check this out if you resonate with animal energy, or you want to learn more about animal energy, or if you think like, I think I'm trying to, they're sending me some sort of message, but I'm not really getting it, then this book is for you. Like I've said before in some of my other videos, I love to do bibliomancy, which is, you know, turning to a page in a book and putting your finger on a word, sentence, paragraph, or the entire page and reading it as a message for yourself. So one of those books that I picked up for that was the Everything I Need to Know I Learned from a Little Golden Book. I still have a few of my childhood golden books, and this is just, it almost made me tear up because it takes you back to your childhood, you know. So at the bottom, it'll tell you what book it was, what year the book was made, and it's just, you know, you're looking through it and you're like, oh my gosh, like, if we all just followed, you know, the moral and the lessons that were shown in the little golden books, like, how perfect would our world be? If we just like behaved ourselves, you know. So yeah, definitely check this out. It's just obviously a quick read. It'll take you like 2 minutes to read, but I love to just kind of flip through it for like a message like this: do no harm. It's sweet, right? You know. The last book that I'm loving from June, and I'll probably end up finishing in the next couple of days, is by Margie Kerr, and it's called Scream. And so this is a sociologist that embarks on this journey of figuring out why we love to get a good scare, like why people go into haunted houses, why do people go on ghost hunts, why do people bungee jump or jump out of planes, like why, what is this, you know, thing that drives us to where we like fear but to a certain point, and what is that certain point? So she talks not so clinical. It sounds like a real person talking to you and not like a textbook, but she does throw in a lot of things, you know, like talking about different parts of the brain, like the amygdala or the prefrontal cortex, you know, and where different areas of our brain are firing under certain situations of duress, and what level of duress, you know, it might be. She also talks about where certain memories are stored, and so when we are in a situation that is similar to a pre-stored memory, how it might change the memory. And so memories that you think you have from your childhood maybe have like been remembered so many times that it's not actually the original version of like what happened. And so she talks about like sometimes people have memories of things that actually never occurred, and truly in their heart they believe it happened. And so I don't know, I'm really loving this book. And she kind of has like a breakdown at the end of the book of just like, she like really was having some like ego issues, and she like broke down past that, and she was like, why am I even doing this book, and this is stupid, and you know, and here I am, you know, it's so like For sure. Like, I think everybody should read this. I'm going to be passing this off to my stepmom because she's like total book nerd, and I know that she would enjoy this. And then when she's done with it, like my other best friend Charmaine, like she needs to read this. Like this is a really, really good book. And for the grand finale, the decks that I am loving in the month of June. First of all, kept in this handy dandy little leather pouch is my medicine cards. So I did a review of this, the backings. You may be familiar with these beautiful lightning bolt backings. But the medicine cards, I have been so into these. Oops, how's that upside down? I even went so far as to put my personal stamp on some of the blank cards in here, you know, finding some of the animals in my area that present themselves, and it just became a really personal deck after that. So let me show you like one of the ones that I created, Gopher. Like I said, we got gophers. And so by putting that personal stamp in here, you know, animals that I see like every day, plus, you know, otherwise, oh, like egrets, it's just, the messages are crazy. The messages aren't so much for me like a daily draw or you know, romance reading or maybe even reading for clients. This is a very personal deck, and when I'm needing to do some like deep work and like what are the messages being sent to me right now, why is this animal coming into my life, like it's pretty good. Pretty good. The other deck that I was loving in the month of Junio is the Hazel Moon's Hawaiian Tarot. So this was something that like went with me everywhere. It didn't actually come with this bag. The person that I did a trade with ended up making this bag for me, and they are totally awesome. It comes with a great guidebook, which I have in the bag right now. But yeah, it's a beautiful deck. I resonate with, you know, everything from Hawaii. My boyfriend visits every few months or so. His best friend has a place over there. He also is in charge of doing like, he was doing the buildings for low-income housing over there. And I love the borders. Some people are sticklers for no borders, but I actually think the borders enhance the pictures. So yeah, I've really been into that. By the way, these are the backs. Beautiful palm tree. Another deck, this one is actually a German deck. The author is Christine Ariana Fade, and then the illustrations are by Anya Kostka. And that is the Dragon Wisdom Oracle. So these, although beautiful images, and that's the backs of them, they, and all of them are, the messages are in German. They don't shy away from telling me how it is. Like, this is so not a fluffy deck. It's so not a, you know, placating and talking to my ego type of deck. You know, this kind of tells me how it is, but it tells me that, you know, they have my back in whatever I do. And so it's not like they're just like sending me into the fire alone. So, into the fire, haha, dragons. Anywho, so yeah, so Drakenweisheit. So very good deck. This oracle by New Age Hipster, Vix of New Age Hipster, her Insta Oracle. I got this a while back when she first put it out, but I have brought it out again because it's freaking awesome. So yeah, all of a sudden that song from that Lego movie popped into my head. Everything is awesome. Da, 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 da. That's what this deck is, cause it's so cool. Yeah, so been totally loving Vix's deck. I love pairing it. I've been loving doing like 3 voice type readings. So I might have like 2 oracle cards and a tarot card, and you know, I might do a spread, but there might be like 3 cards in each position, which I've really been loving, and I've been loving using this deck for that. Another deck I've been loving is the Cat's Oracle. And so this is by Barbara Moore and Marco Turini. And I've been using this for the daily draws, and here are the backings. The only thing I'm disappointed with in this deck is that it does not have a Siamese. Like, how do you not have a Siamese in the deck? I have a Siamese. Well, technically a Puma, but you know. I would like to have a Siamese. So my bedside table is kind of like my little mini altar, and so I always put my daily draw on there, and I would kind of like a Siamese, but it's a beautiful deck anyway. Another deck I've been loving is the Tarot del Fuego, and so I got this in a trade. This isn't something that I was actively seeking out because I wasn't sure how I would resonate with it, but oh my gosh, I can't seem to put it down or put it away, so I seem to be like, I keep pulling it out, and it really gives me some in-depth messages. Like I really like the hits, like intuitive hits that I get off this is like crazy. So this ends up being one of my travel decks also because it's a lot smaller than a regular tarot sized deck. So yeah, I end up traveling with it, and plus I'm not afraid the cards are going to get damaged because they're pretty plasticky, which is cool. Another deck I've been into, of course, has been the Rebel deck. I'm not going to show you all really the cards because I've done probably like 4 videos already where I've shown the cards on here, but definitely been using the Rebel deck in, you know, those multiple card spreads that I've been doing. A deck by Megan Weber, and you can find her on Etsy, and I believe she's doing a Kickstarter for a playing card deck. It's like the crows playing cards, but she did the Azúcar Bone oracle, and azúcar means sugar in Spanish, so it's the sugar bone. But I love using this. It's very simplistic. The colors are very simple, but I find the energy that comes out of this and the messages to be very powerful. So I've been using it for daily draws and sometimes for meditation work. So yeah, the Azúcar Bone Tarot. Another deck I've been using, and all these decks really, they're not really new. They're just kind of ones I'm in my collection that I'm using again. Some of them are new, but most of them are not. But I have a Lenormand deck, and it is called the Kitch Lenormand. You can find this on Etsy. And here are the backs. And I just really like the images. Like when I need a splash of color for my Lenormand readings, then this is the deck I want to pull out. I'm just dropping cards, don't mind me. So yeah, definitely loving the Kitch Lenormand. Actually, I've been carrying this around with me too when I am out and about on the town. Okay, the last thing I want to show you that I've been working with big time, and I do place this giant thing under my pillow. It's okay, I have like a Tempur-Pedic pillow, so I really don't feel all the lumps and bumps. I have like so much shit under my pillow. Sometimes I put a card under my pillow. Sometimes I have, well, I always have a stone under my pillow. I have a little like witchy sachet that I made with some herbs, and there's like a particular stone in there so that I can connect with my spirit guides in my dreams. So there's a lot of shit under my pillow. What's another bag, you know? I can't feel any of it, so that's cool. But in here I have Ted Andrews' Animal Speak runes, and then I also have my Norse runes, and I kind of keep them together because they work so well together. So I've done a video on these, and let me just show you some of them. They're these awesome little runes made out of pine, and they have all these little different animals. Like you got spider, you have skunk, which comes up for me a lot, and they're also in my backyard a lot. You have wolf, like you have manatee and cicada, you know, and then and there's a book that comes with it that explains, you know, how some people are like, well, that's not what a real rune is, but he says how the meaning of rune is just become something meaning symbolic, and so and that's why he calls them runes. But I do believe that they work well with my actual Norse runes that I've been just like a couple of months ago I finally like really connected with my runes. I was like, hell yeah. But yeah, these are just like your regular bone runes. So yeah, been loving these. All right guys, so that's everything. Oh my gosh, that was my June favorite. So let me know what you guys thought. Again, I don't put things out there because I'm forcing you guys to go out and buy new stuff. Like I said, a lot of stuff here is so not new. It's just stuff that I'm liking stuff that I already own. And I think that people should appreciate the things that you already have. You shouldn't be actively seeking out things to bring you joy. You should have joy with everything that surrounds you already, and be happy, you know, in yourself. So, but if you did like some things and you're like, hey, you know, I think I really resonate with that, then by all means go out and buy it. You know, I mean, it's your money, your life. So, yeah, that's it for me. So if you have any comments about any of the things that I have, then go ahead and leave that in the comments section below. If you guys ever do want to catch a reading with me, then you know that you can click on the information box below or one of the boxes that pops up here, and that'll take you straight to my Etsy shop. And if you like this video, give it a beautiful sparkly thumbnail up. And don't forget to click subscribe, and I'll see you spiritual ninjas later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Have a happy July.